Reclaiming Timeless Ways, another episode underway, number 88 to be exact. Mike Traster, Simon Fuller, along with you. Glad to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. Mike, what are we going to be talking about? What's our topic today?
Well, I'm going to bounce this off of you. I've only got one in mind.
Okay.
One cliche.
Okay.
And it's the kind of cliche that I think is deserving of punishment because it distracts people from functional truth in essential ways.
Okay.
And that is, church is a hospital.
Sure.
No, so is the street. So what does that excuse? So if somebody comes into church and they dress like a whore or a pimp and they act like one, right? And they're selling their perverse ways and getting away with it because we're supposed to be reasonable and non-judgmental, then church has ceased to be on higher ground. And if it isn't on higher ground, it is 100% not church.
Right.
Not church. It ceased to be church. It became possessed.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like you're saying, I mean, people, including Jesus, said, you know, he's come to heal sick people, broken people, fallen people, lesser, you know, which is what church is. So you want to be welcoming of everybody, but by the same token, once they've made that decision to follow Christ, to turn their lives over,
Right.
there has to be a process. We're all fallen, we're all broken.
Right.
And so there's the piece that you're saying can really become a cliche or just maybe a farce, if you will.
Right.
Do we allow that to continue? What is the next step for that person? I mean,
Well,
what you're saying.
I remember standing talking with the pastor one day, and one of the people that worked in the church came shuffling up the aisle, shaking her stuff fiercely. This is a married woman, and her pants, let's just say they were form-fitted.
Yeah.
They were
yeah.
spray painted on,
Wow.
and she was putting on a show because she was furious with her husband, and she was saying, look at what you guys might have if you just jump right. Who's going to jump highest? Because I might be available, because I'm pissed at Harry over there. And I said to the pastor, that should not be allowed in church. And he looked at me and he goes, he's afraid. He's afraid. He's afraid. It's like, man, you're supposed to be the person that's protecting this place. So if need be, we should protect you so you can protect the place. It's got to be a partnership.
And it's so true.
Right.
I mean, that's a unified effort. I see it in schools all the time nowadays where, you know, kids get away with so much because the parents raise heck, the teachers get in trouble and or the administration because they don't have the support that they need. I mean, we just sue them and then they get away with it.
Right.
So now everybody's scared to do anything because I don't want to get in trouble.
Right.
You know, I don't want to be the bad guy.
Right.
I don't want to risk anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's essentially what you're telling me in this situation. I don't want to risk anything.
Right.
I might lose my job. I might lose people.
Or they might be best friends with the guy that gave 10 grand last year for the roof.
Right.
You did what? To Sweet Cheeks, who shakes it so sweet and fine, we just look the other way and pretend she's not doing that. Or the guy that's selling drugs, or whatever it happens to be, you know?
And, you know, church, I would take it a step further, and we're going a little bit down a hole from the cliche title of this, but, you know, church is beyond just the building on Sunday or Saturday evening, whenever your service is, or Wednesday. I mean, if I see you, Mike, out doing something wrong, it's my obligation as a family of that church to have a conversation with you too.
Absolutely.
Or you with me.
Yep.
Simon, you're doing this destructive behavior, I
Right.
care about you,
Hmm?
hope you're not mad at me, but I gotta tell you where I'm at on this.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I gotta tell you my thoughts. Well, screw you, Mike. No, Simon, I don't wanna,
That's
don't
when
want
you
us to
bring
be
it- right.
You're risking a friendship, a relationship.
Right.
I don't want this to come between us. I feel like it's my duty, screw you. I mean, but that's a risk you take.
Right, yep,
To,
you do.
To do what's right, to say what's right. I think that's most of our shows, Mike.
It is.
There's a lot of risk with doing right,
Oh, boy, it's
but there's a lot of
expensive.
risk with not doing right,
Right,
right?
absolutely.
So where do we land on that scale? Ooh, ooh. What do you value?
It's kind of like sitting at a table, you have a dinner party at your home, or your business, or whatever, where you rent a room, and you invite God and Satan, and you don't want to piss either of them off. Hello? Can you do that?
Yeah.
You know? Can you do
Who do
that?
you really want to pick for your basketball team?
Satan's got wings, you know? He can fly. He's a cool guy. I like his car. So, yeah. But that's your investment today. What's your return going to be?
Yeah.
What's your return? How expensive is it going to be for your kid? In that first story I told, what was that now, 3 years ago? About the girl that got hit by the train, and all the nurses are standing there going, "We can't do anything, we'll get sued."
Yeah.
Worthless parasites, deserving of punishment, right? They had no moral courage,
Yeah.
none. And the result of that had I, who was completely medically ignorant at that point in time, just functioning on instinct and conscience. Had I not intervened, she would have died. She would have been a corpse. And I got her airway open, and she was breathing again. I saw her, I visited with her, and it was remarkable. I deeply regret not having stayed in touch with her and finding out how her life unfolded. I'm sure she had a traumatic brain injury.
Sure.
But I've had several, and I'm functional. Not perfect, but I'm functional. Verbally, in terms of my communicative skills, I'm off the scale. But in some of my other areas, like remembering names and faces, a little bit inefficient and tired, right? But she would have had a life.
Yeah.
And she wound up having a life, but not because of any of those very well-trained nurses who went to very expensive schools in Boston. Those schools 50 years ago were 25 grand a year, for nothing.
Well, it is interesting, a lot of those cliches, and that was the title, religious cliches, and just in general, Mike, how often, we know that we're fallen, we're supposed to be fallen,
Right.
but what are we doing? In fact, most people who maybe don't believe in church or don't participate in church or religion at all
Right.
have been so turned off, I think you're one of them, by it based on saying one thing and doing another. Now, we know we screw up, so where's that fine line? But wait a second.
My sin life,
That's not our wipe it clean and I'll be back next week and do
No.
whatever I want in the meantime.
but I don't know, I try to live a life that has some faith substance, regardless of my material ability to make a significant impact in the world from a monetary point. I can still talk to people and encourage them, help them identify the war they're fighting against themselves. Show them humor. Humor is very healing.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, is it ever? Because it gives people, it's like taking a dump. It's like giving somebody, it is.
How's he gonna finish this one off?
You're full of this solidified poison
Right.
that was food once, good or bad, and it's jammed tight in you, right? And somebody says, here's a cathartic, this will clean you out. Well, humor does that.
Yeah.
Humor says, God, that was such shit. and it goes whoosh, right? You're cleaned out, and you look at it, and it's like, it's so insane, it's funny.
Yeah.
And once you get that, it's so insane, it's funny moment, once you express that, not state it like a philosopher, but you experience it and you live it in that funny moment, right? You are beginning to become exercised of it. You're becoming unchained. That's how powerful. That's how powerful humor is. So my question to you is, do you know that God created humor so that we could see the outrage and absurdity of the world and unchain ourselves from it? Literally. Literally. That you have that power in you, that it was a God-given power. I'm talking God. I don't go to church, but I talk God. How come? Well, where isn't church?
Right.
Not where is church, where isn't church, right? That's a good question, you know?
We're in it right now, where two or more are gathered, basically in his name,
Right, right,
there it be.
yes, yes. So the next question, the next cliche is forgiveness. Don't make the victim into the villain. Should they be struggling with some process of forgiveness that might take a minute or a lifetime, and it's not up to you to decide that?
Right.
But you're flipping the script, and when you do that, and you batter that person that's already been victimized, that hurt, they've been oppressed or cheated or beaten or defamed or defrauded, now all of a sudden you're condemning them, and the other person that did this, you're indirectly or directly protecting. That is completely back. That's pro-evil.
Yeah.
So let the person remind the person that the lack of forgiveness may be chewing us up on the inside, but we may need it to protect ourselves. Because why? Because we're witnesses to the outrage, and by witnessing, by being a witness, a spoken witness to the outrage, what are we doing? We're speaking the truth. Is that an evil thing? So you go to your cliche like it's your mommy and you hug it and you go, no, forgive, forgive, forgive. What are you saying to the person to help reconstruct them from whatever it is, whatever trauma that they've experienced, that they are diminished? How are you helping them to become reformed? You're not. You're adding to their injury.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I would say, for the most part, the speech about forgiveness, I have two words: shut up.
To the point.
Shut up. Just absolutely shut up. And go find out what their injuries are and how you can help. You know, if they've been, let's say you're in a prayer group, and I remember I used to go to singles group, Christian singles group, right? And this gal invited me over her house one day, and she's showing me all this stuff that she does, some just crafty things. So she's got these big plastic boxes full of this cheap garbage that she makes, kind of like 12-year-old crafts, you know.
Sure.
She's 70, going on 12, and so I said, oh, that's nice. I think I found a few things I liked. Anyway, the next time we all got together at a restaurant, somebody's given me this look. And I look around, and I'm getting a lot of this. You know, and I'm like, what the hell is this shit, right? So finally comes out, did I steal her necklace when I was in her house? Right? Like, what necklace? No, I didn't steal it. What necklace are you talking about? It was a gold necklace, really. So this goes on. I'm getting all these really angry, visual messages from people. And
Guilty until proven innocent, huh?
100%. And she started it. Mike was at my house, and ever since then, my necklace has been missing. So everybody jumps to this conclusion. Not that it fell in the vent,
Right.
right? Or it got swept up with a pile of dust, or her parrot took it, or whatever, right? Or it fell behind the jewelry box. Well, it's I come in there one day about 2, 3 months later. Oh, by the way, I saw her, I talked to her on the phone because I had done some landscaping for her. She goes, oh, by the way, I found the necklace. I said, oh, did you tell everybody in the group? There's this pause and then, yes. She's full of shit. She didn't tell. So all of my fellowships with all those people were stained.
Right, right.
She found the necklace. It was between them little plastic parts boxes that she was using, her little jewelry toys. And she put it there. When? How? I don't know. And but the natural ability for us to accept and enjoy each other's company was damaged. How do you fix that? Because every time, see, when you cancel somebody, and that's canceling, when you do cancel somebody, even after people find out that that wasn't true, right? They're still looking at you as
Sure.
different.
There's a suspicion, a taint,
Right. It's like an old stain that almost washes out.
but it's there.
It's there, right? That beet juice on that new white
Made
shirt.
some coffee.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah.
coffee stains
Yeah.
on my white t-shirts. Oh, I dribbled it again. Never comes out.
Right. So, what is it? Hydrogen peroxide is supposed to take stains out of cloth,
Yeah,
but there's no hydrogen peroxide for people's attitudes.
right.
There isn't. So forgiveness, and so the thing with forgiveness, when you make the person that's not forgiving the villain, you're flipping the script on the focus. So the villain becomes the victim, and the victim becomes the villain. It doesn't get much more foobar than that. And if you're a pastor of a church, you are grotesquely irresponsible, incompetent, and destructive.
Yeah, if you don't take care of that.
What?
If you don't take care of that stuff. You know?
Yeah, and like from this point forward, stop.
Yeah.
There are much more important things for you to do. And it may be necessary for them to be a witness to that injustice, maybe for the rest of their life.
Sure.
Maybe they need to do that. Maybe it's morally required of them. You know, you don't know that. So I would say don't live in it, you know, not any more than you should drink a cup of vinegar. It's going to burn your belly, right? So maybe tell them to do it in more balance.
Yeah.
But when you say to somebody, forgive, it's like, oh, okay, it's done, I forgive. That's a lie. And you're asking them to do this kind of magic that doesn't exist. And there's a lot of people that do forgiveness theater. Oh, I forgave them. I forgive you. Right? They didn't forgive anybody, you know, but they're doing the great act. Meanwhile, they're not being, their need to condemn the actor and the act is not being understood or honored, or the value of how they were once more intact than they now are.
Sure.
You know. Now my little experience with a necklace, God knows what the damn thing was made out of. It might have been made out of gum wrappers for all I know. I don't think I ever saw it. This is very minor, but people go through much deeper affronts than that, you know. So spiritual cliches, church is a hospital, and forgive. Better things to do and say, you know. And that's that topic.
Okay. Thank you for joining
Thank you.
another episode of Reclaiming Timeless Waste. Have a great day.